Hi guys, my goodness, Donald Trump is a dangerous individual. So apart from tariffs on imports and throwing Ukraine under a bus for his good friend in the Kremlin, it seems that anti-trans groups and individuals who've either donated to Donald Trump's campaign or who have been pouring poison into his ears for years have been thrown a bone. The president-elect here spoke about how he will undo some of Joe Biden's legislation when it comes to providing young people with the means to transition. Trump mixed up sex and gender. He talked about ending the use of puberty blockers and what he described as mutilation. This is all language and action to pander to a small but vocal right wing who want trans people to disappear.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
This is about the erasure of trans people. These organizations and these individuals who want to achieve this have been pouring poison into Donald Trump's ear for a long time now, and they have been donating to his campaign. Now, he mentioned a few things here I want to respond to. So first, he mentioned puberty blockers, for example. Well, puberty blockers are not limited to people who want to transition. It's used also, for example, to treat prostate cancer and breast cancer and endometriosis. So is Trump planning to block it also for people who are not interested in transgender, in transitioning? Is that going to happen as well? Or is it going to have a chilling effect on doctors who are going to go, look, I'm not going to prescribe any of this, or we're not going to get involved in any of this, whether it's for people who want to transition or for the treatment of certain cancers. This is insane. It's also going to have a chilling effect on doctors who, when a patient comes in, wants to have a consultation and say, look, I don't feel comfortable in my body. What is the doctor going to respond with? Well, let's see what treatment we can look at, or let's see what we can do about that. Or will the doctor say, get out of my office because I don't want to be sued. I don't want to lose my license. I don't want to lose my livelihood. So what is this going to do? It's going to drive all of this underground. Out of sight and out of mind. This is what these people want to achieve. They don't care about children. They don't care about adults. They don't care about anyone. They want these people to disappear. This is what they want. This is scary stuff. There is a small section of society that has been amplified, of course, by the right wing. But there's a small section of society who don't feel comfortable with the way that they were born, the body that they were born into. They should be supported. Instead, what's happening is they're being turned into a political football. They're being used as a tool in this culture war. And what Trump has said here is scary stuff. He mentioned the Department of Justice, who are going to come after doctors who have given advice to people in the past. He said that Medicare and other government programs will be shut down in certain hospitals if they're engaging in this activity. This is all about having a chilling effect. Whether the government actually come along and do any of this, and remember, this is, people voted for Donald Trump because they believe he's a libertarian. This is big government interfering in people's lives. But if the government, if government departments or hospitals or whatever believe that the government, Trump and his administration is going to come after them, they may take a proactive approach to this by not dealing with people, saying, well, no, we're not going to provide these services because we're afraid we're going to be sued, we're afraid we're going to lose our licenses, we're afraid we're going to be shut down. And finally, he said at the end, we need to promote the nuclear family. We need to promote the traditional family. This, of course, is pandering to conservatives, far right, and also religious evangelicals. They are the people that got Trump over the line. They are the people who always come out and vote for him. So this is about pandering to a new group, the anti-trans group, but also weaving in the traditional conservatives. Give them something. This costs Donald Trump very little. This is very easy for him to do. And it means taking the rights away from people, and it means driving all of this underground, which will result in pain and suffering and people losing their lives, unfortunately. There are dark days ahead, and this is just the beginning. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.